if the elections were fair and fair, we expect President Kyagulanyi to take on the country.
Uganda is once again heading into a high-stakes election.
The National Resistance Movement is a clear-headed movement.
But as the campaigns come to an end, familiar patterns have been emerging. Opposition rallies blocked, journalists arrested, security forces flooding the streets.
Almost like a battlefield. Tear gas, live bullets, rubber bullets, and all sorts of intimidation in the campaign trail.
Yoweri Museveni, now in power for nearly 4 decades, insists Uganda is stable, democratic, and secure.
But when we talk of prosperity, we are talking of prosperity through production.
His critics say the country is trapped in a system designed to keep one man in power.
The country is shrunk into a personal property.
It cannot be a fair election. We've been trying to do our best in an unbalanced situation.
They try to disorganize everything.
To understand where Uganda is headed, we must first understand how Museveni came to power, the wars that shaped him.
He's fighting for the aims of the whole country.
And how a revolutionary leader slowly transformed into a ruler many now describe as authoritarian. Uganda's post-independence years were violent and unstable. After independence in 1962, political rivalry, ethnic divisions, and military interference quickly took hold. By 1971, Idi Amin, then army commander, seized power in a coup.
I will well and truly exercise the functions of the head of government of the Republic of Uganda, so help me God.
Museveni, a young Marxist-leaning intellectual trained in Tanzania, opposed Amin's rule. When Amin's rule collapsed in 1979 after a war with Tanzania, Uganda did not find peace. Instead, power struggles resumed. In 1980, elections returned Milton Obote to power. Elections Museveni claimed were rigged. Refusing to accept the outcome, Museveni launched an armed rebellion. His group, the National Resistance Army, NRA, went to the bush, starting a brutal guerrilla war, mainly fought in Uganda's Luwere Triangle.
And we knew that with the correct tactics, we could enable the 27 to mobilize the millions who were on our side, but were not properly organized. We knew that although we had 27 armed people, but we represented millions of potential soldiers.
The conflict was devastating. Thousands of civilians were killed. Villages were destroyed. Uganda's army fractured. Museveni framed the war as a fight against dictatorship, corruption, and militarized politics.
What else can we do if you have got a government which has closed off all other channels of peaceful change? What else could we do except to surrender, to resign ourselves to slavery? And we couldn't do that as long as the people were willing. Because this is their own war. The people are actually the ones who urged us on to fight.
By 1985, Obote was overthrown by his own generals. Peace talks followed in 1985. Peace negotiations between Museveni's NRA and the military government of Tito Okello were held in Nairobi, Kenya. The talks promised power sharing and ceasefire arrangements, but trust was thin. Within months, the agreement collapsed. Museveni accused the government of bad faith. In January 1986, the NRA marched into Kampala. Museveni became president.
And that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
Museveni's early years were widely praised. After years of coups and bloodshed, he restored relative stability. The army was reorganized. Regional insurgencies were pushed back. The economy was stabilized. HIV/AIDS was confronted openly, earning international praise. Museveni promised no-life presidency, calling African leaders who clung to power a problem.
For the first time, we are going to talk about the population, their life, their political rights, their economic interests. That will be the center of gravity of whatever we are doing.
Uganda was presented as a new model for post-conflict recovery, but power was becoming centralized. Museveni learned early that power in Uganda was fragile. There were real and suspected coup plots. From former allies, from army officers, from political rivals, his response was systematic.
We have professionalized the army. The army of Uganda today is one of the most disciplined. I don't want to say in Africa only, but in the whole world.
Loyalists were promoted, rivals were sidelined or arrested, intelligence networks were expanded. The presidency became the center of all authority. Opponents were not only crushed, many were co-opted, offered government positions, business opportunities, or political safety in exchange for loyalty. Resistance was fragmented. Museveni ruled under a no-party system, arguing it prevented ethnic division. Critics said it weakened opposition. Over time, the constitution was reshaped. In 2005, presidential term limits were removed. In 2017, age limits were scrapped, allowing Museveni to run again and again. Each change passed through parliament, but under intense pressure, inducements, and force. The legal framework increasingly served one outcome: Museveni staying in power. As political competition grew, tolerance shrank. Media houses faced closures, license suspension, arrest of journalists. Opposition figures faced tear gas at rallies, house arrests, military trials. Former ally turned rival, Dr. Kizza Besigye, became Museveni's most persistent challenger and one of Uganda's most repeatedly arrested politicians. Today, Besigye has been jailed again, reinforcing claims of judicial intimidation.
And our people should remain firm, should remain strong. This is our country. We must have rights in our country. We must be treated with dignity in our country.
The emergence of Bobi Wine, a musician turned politician, changed the game. Young, popular, defiant. For the first time, Museveni faced a challenger who mobilized Uganda's youth, not through ideology, but lived frustration.
Once we are voted into government, we shall uphold those values. We shall be the leaders that the country has always wanted.
The state responded with force. Rallies blocked, supporters arrested, journalists assaulted, internet shutdowns during elections. Museveni framed Bobi Wine as reckless and foreign-backed.
They've tear-gassed us, including tear-gassing the rallies, peacefully assembled rallies, and then they launched tear gas into the rallies. A lot of impunity has been ongoing, unfortunately, under the watch and conspicuous silence of the Electoral Commission.
Critics saw fear of losing control. Uganda still votes, but critics argue the Electoral Board, security forces, courts, and media environment tilt heavily toward the incumbent. The chessboard, they say, is set long before ballots are cast. Museveni wins again and again. Yoweri Museveni came to power promising to end dictatorship. He stabilized Uganda after chaos. He rebuilt institutions. He restored order. But over time, power hardened. The man who once went to the bush to fight stolen elections now presides over a system accused of suppressing them. As Uganda heads into another election, the question is no longer how Museveni came to power. The question is, can Uganda imagine a future without him? My name is Enoch Sikolia, and I am the Kenyan Historian.